Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, today I get to share a project with you for Gerda Steiner Designs, and we're using a new stamp set over at the shop. This is cute. It's called Meerkats on the Lookout. Cute little images in here, and I want to mention that now until Valentine's Day, there is a sale going on at the Gerda Steiner shop. There's 20% off your entire order. Details for that, I'll list the Gerda Steiner shop down below in case you guys want to do a little shopping. But it's a great deal, 20% off, and there's no coupon code required. Okay, that being said, let's make a card with this cute little set. Love these guys. I wasn't sure what Meerkats, what color they were, so I looked them up online, and they are so adorable. They're like tans and browns, but they have like little black eyes. This is how I can describe it. So they are super easy to color. I'm going to be coloring in these two guys with my Copic markers. So I'm stamping on Copic friendly paper, and then I'm also using Copic friendly ink, or alcohol marker friendly ink. So once my images are stamped, my idea is to make almost like a masculine birthday card. So I wanted to bring in a birthday cake. So I'm borrowing a cake from the Coffee Monster stamp set from Gerda Steiner shop. I'm going to use, there's a coordinating die that will cut out that little birthday cake, so I'm going to take that. And actually for this stamp set too, guys, there's coordinating dies available, and I'll list them down below. But I want to stamp two of these little cakes. They were like the perfect size. And then I'm going to zoom in, and we're going to do a little coloring. While I color, I'll play a little music, and then when I'm done coloring, I will catch you back. Okay, coloring is all done, and they're so sweet. You can see here I chose the ones that were popping up out of a hole. I thought they were just adorable, and they work perfect for my little scene here. So once I fussy cut out my images, my little Meerkats, like again, there are coordinating dies available, but fussy cutting was super easy. I'm going to go ahead and add the cakes to the tops of their heads. And you're probably going, what is she doing? But it goes so well with the sentiment. So once they're attached to the top of my little Meerkat's head, I have three different shades of green cardstock. I want to create some hillsides. So to do that, I'm going to use some hillside border dies. I'm just going to need two of them. I'm not going to add a hillside to the very top or the darkest green hill. Decided not to do that. Okay, I'm going to die cut out the hillsides, and then after they're die cut, I'm going to take a stitched rectangle die and cut out all three of my cardstock with the hillsides. Okay, now I just trimmed them down, just a little bit off the edge. The bottom one has stitch detail, and the very top has stitch detail. So I wanted to make sure there's stitch detail all around. Next, I'm going to treat my paper with my anti-static powder tool, and then we are going to take the sentiment in the stamp set. There's quite a few that you can customize. So I chose the one that says, on the lookout for birthday cake. So I thought it was kind of cute with the little cakes on top of their heads. I decided to bring in my Misty because I know I probably wouldn't have got my sentiment straight. So I'm just going to ink up my sentiment with my Versamark ink. Stamp that a little bit to the right of my very bottom hillside, and then I'm going to add white embossing powder. We'll just go over the sentiment. It's going to stand out against that green cardstock. And then I'll use my heat gun and we'll go ahead and melt that. So the sentiment's ready to go. Okay, now we're going to layer all three of these together. Now the width of each one of my panels is 3.5 inches wide. So I want to create a square with all of these. So my bottom piece, I want to use the grid lines on my my glass mat here, and I'm going to make sure that I line it up and then add this one at the 3.5 inch mark. So that makes it 3.5 inches all around, and we have a nice little square. Okay, next I'm going to flip over my little Meerkats, kind of playing around with a placement actually. I am going to end up popping them up, but there's two little rocks in the stamp set, and so I wanted some rocks in the background. We're going to grab both of them. I'm just kind of figuring out where I want to put them. I'm going to stamp directly on the green cardstock. One of them, the largest rock, is going to go right above the sentiment, and then I'll take the smaller rock, and I want it to be peeking at behind the Meerkat that's going to be on this basically the highest Meerkat level. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to use my gray copic markers. I'm using 3 different shades. I'm using a C6, a C4, and a C3. And then I'm just going to do a little shading and color them in directly on my colored cardstock. Now, the lightest areas, you can see the green through, but you can still tell the rock, so I wasn't too concerned about that. I know the die set does have coordinating dice that will cut out the rocks, so if you didn't want that green color, you could use those dies as an option. After I have my C4 down, we'll take the lightest, which is C3, and just fill in all of our shaded areas, and then we have a little scenery. Now, since we have a green hillside, I thought we would create a couple little blades of grass. So I'm just going to freehand that in just a bit. Just do our little shading, and our rocks are all ready to go. Okay, I'm going to use my lightest green, which is a G24. And we're just going to add little sprigs of grass on the edges of our rocks, and underneath it also. Just kind of blending it out, adding a little extra green in here. I say this card could be a masculine card, but it could be really for anyone. I think the Meerkats are too cute, especially with the pink frosting on top of their heads. Okay, after I have my G24, we're going to go in with a darker green, which is a G28, I believe. Is that? No, 46. I must have grabbed the wrong one, but it worked. So this is G46. Okay, I think that looks great. Now we're going to flip over our little Meerkats, add foam adhesive behind them, and then we're going to go ahead and place them on our panel. After we have both of these guys, we're just going to play around with we're going to scoot this one over just a little bit more, put them a little bit lower to the sentiment. I think they look cute. Okay, I'm going to bring in another rock. I'm going to put it on the top right corner, just for good measure. I think it was just missing something up there, so I just colored in one more rock on the very top grassy area. Okay, this is a piece of black cardstock, and I'm taking a circle die and cutting out a row of circles on the very bottom of it. This measures 3.5 inches tall, and I'm just going to trim off the left and right, so it measures 3.5 inches by 4.25. So it's going to fit my entire bottom portion of my card base. which is standard A2 size card. I decided to bring in some black and white baker's twine. I'm just going to tie a bow all the way to the left here. We'll just trim the tails, and then I'm going to flip this panel over, add foam adhesive behind it, and then this is going to go on the very bottom of our card base. Just adds a little bit of texture and dimension. Okay. Once this is done, we're going to flip over our little Meerkats. I'm going to add tape on the top or the bottom portion, and then foam tape on the top, and I added that to my card base as well, just above the polka dots. Now all we have to do is add some bells and whistles. I'm going to add not too much sparkle, but I thought the sparkle on the frosting would be like confetti. And then I thought, you know, let's fill in these polka dots with some sparkle too. Just because there's a little green tint. These are Nouveau glitter drops, and they're white blizzard, and there's a little, they're iridescent, but the hue to it is the green, so it's really picking up the green. So it's still a little bit masculine. If you don't have want to use the glue, it was a little bit messy, you could use just glitter cardstock and put it underneath your polka dots. I'm going to top off my candles with a little bit of gold glitter glue. And that completes my card for today, guys. Super cute. This is called the Gerda Steiner Designs. This is Meerkats on the Lookout. Such a cute little stamp set. I hope you enjoyed my project today. Thanks so much for stopping by. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.